Good with y'all, man. It's your boy Henny Demore reporting live from the liquor store. How's everybody doing today, man? Hey, it's Tuesday. Y'all done made that work day. It's getting a little bit closer. Week going by. I know that y'all probably had a rough day at work. I know your boss been stressing. Your co-workers won't shut up. They probably Eagles fans, so they know they breath smell bad. So, I know it's time, long overdue, for y'all to make a liquor store run, man. So y'all come on in, man. We done prepared all assortments of beverages and refreshments, to get us through so we can get drunk on this Dallas Cowboy content together, man. So, hey, we got whatever it takes to make you sin. So come on in, including that hen and that gin. And we also got Eagle Tears on deck, man. That's like liquid crack. So, y'all be careful. Y'all do order a little bit of that, man. Hey, Stephen Harrison, what's up with you, man? Thank you for tapping in. Miss Regina Green with the green. Salute to you. Thank you. Brian Kite, you were the very first person to comment and show some love, man. So I appreciate you, my guy. Terrell Bigelow, what's good with you? I see you slide through the door, man. Yeah, come on through the door, man. Yeah, it's time. It's time. And remember, if you slap the shit out of an Eagles fan, man, you will receive half off all the merchandise inside the liquor store. So, I know you want to get your discount. I know you're trying to get slappy drunk and rock out with your boy, man. So y'all come on, do what you got to do. I know at least a couple of Eagles fans y'all can lay hands on, man. So y'all do what you got to do. Yo, Michael H. Hey, shout out to my brother JC Cowboy Network for sliding through, man. Y'all make sure y'all go show his page some love. Makes great content, make great material. Y'all make sure y'all go show some love to JC over at this lounge, man. Common Sense Lab, what's good with you, boy? Appreciate you. So, what we're going to talk about today? He said, I got these coupons, man. Been doing it all day. Hey, listen, you get enough coupons, though. Instead of a discount, I might just go ahead and get you a free bottle. You know how we rocking, man. I usually just let y'all get it for the low, but, you might just be able to walk out the door with it. You slapping boys like that. But today, man, we're going to actually talk about projections. We talked about projecting the offensive system already. We already touched on. Yo, what's up with you, Big H? Salute to you, man. Thank you for tapping in. So we touched on the new offensive scheme. We talked about the Texas Coast. We talked about the concepts we expect them to run. We talked about all the different things that we'll probably see next year, from this meeting of the minds for this new offensive system. But what we have not really talked about is how these individual players on the offensive side of the ball are going to fare this year. So we're going to do some projecting. I actually went out and I found some projections about what the so-called experts believe our individual players will do this season on the offensive end of the ball. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about he said use the YouTube link, still nothing. We got to figure it out, man. He said HTM Sports capping again. There's no cap, man. There's no cap in my rap, man. All this is real facts. It's real spill. Indeed. Hey, I see Patrice coming through, landlord for Wakanda, up here questioning the validity of the things I say. But, he probably just been around that vibranium too long. But salute to you. Joe said he's sharing on all the platforms and he's slapping Eagles fans, man. Salute to you. So, we're gonna project, man. We're going to do some numbers. I'm the numbers guy. So, this is right in my wheelhouse, man. We talk about these numbers and try to project and see what these guys would do within this new offense. But before I get too far ahead of myself and we jump right into the content, I am going to remind y'all we are still running a Dallas Cowboy game ticket raffle. We're raffling off tickets to go see the Dallas Cowboys completely and utterly destroy the Philadelphia Eagles. So this is going to be the home game against the Philadelphia Eagles. If you want to enter, all you got to do is either hit the Cash App and send $10, or you can send a super or a super sticker, in the amount of $10. And that's one entry, right? You can send as many entries as you want, and we won't shut the raffle down until August the 1st. So the first place winner of this raffle is going to get a home game ticket to see the Cowboys play the Eagles, and it's going to have a seat attached to it. So, you can sit back, drink your beer, drink your Cowboy Rita, and you only got to jump up and down when you want to. The second place winner is going to get a Dallas Cowboy ticket for general admission. That means you can slide through the door and, go to the standing room area. You can rock out with the true maniacs because, only maniacs, true fanatics, true cutthroats go to the game and don't give a damn about sitting down. So, If you want to rock out with the rest of the real Dallas Cowboy fans, then you can get that standing room admissions ticket. And then the third place winner is going to get either a PlayStation 4 or a Dallas Cowboy jersey of the winner's choice. So that's the raffle. If you want to participate, just hit the Cash App and or hit the super chats, hit the super stickers. And if you just want to support the content, do the same. But salute to y'all. And then real quick, I'm gonna give y'all an update on the standings, and then we'll jump right into the regular scheduled content. Sugar Daddy Warren, what's up with you, man? Matt Leslie, I see you too, man. Salute to y'all for coming in and showing love to the channel, man. Hats off to y'all. So real quick, I'm gonna give this to y'all. Then we're gonna jump to this content because I've been itching to do this. I got these numbers together. And I'm ready. This is my wheelhouse, so I'm not gonna take too much time giving y'all these updates. So real quick for this raffle, Mickey, you have 6 entries. Salute to you. Dwayne Brown, you got 4 entries. Blake, that's my guy. It's Too Easy. You got 3 entries. Brian Kite, you have half an entry. You $5 away. Hoodlum, you got an entry. Sharon Bell, you have an entry. DC4 Life Texas has 2. Neil, the serial slapper. I know you're out there in the world somewhere, doing Jerry Jones bidding and slapping the hell out of all these Eagles fans, man. You got 7 entries. The Lunatics, real stand-up, stump-down guy. He got an entry. Dunham Holmes has an entry. Taiwan, you got 3. Can I put the link to my hat creator in the chat? Sure. I ain't tripping. And you sent that with a super, so I am not tripping. And listen, and that's gonna be the thing. Y'all can promote in the chat box, but send a super first. If you want to promote in the chat box, that'll be the standard. Send a super in the chat, and I'll let you promote in the chat box. So no, it's no problem. Thank you for supporting. You always being in here showing love. It's the least I can do. All right, so let's see. All right, so Tawan got 3. Crystal has an entry. Salute to her. Mike DC4L has an entry. Josie Guetes, if I butchered your name, please forgive me. You have an entry. Salute to you. King G, you have an entry. Salute to you. Michael Atri be coming through with the volcanoes. He has an entry. VA Roster X is leading the way. He has 14 entries, so salute to him. Big Benny Rich, part of the Rich gang. He has an entry. Let's see. 1 second, y'all. All right, y'all, I'm back. I had to take a phone call. When the wife calls, you got to temporarily, see what's going on. But shout out to the wife for always supporting and showing love. But yeah, Justin, you have an entry as well. Sugar Daddy 1, you have an entry. Damn Dizzle, you have an entry. Salute to you. Big Dow, you got an entry. JJ, the Mime, you got 2. Wonder has 1. Salter has 2. S.A. Richburg has 2. Mucho Boomin has 1, and David Sorrells has 1. So, that's the overall entries for the raffle right now. Dwayne Brown, just in case you missed it, you got 4 entries. So salute to you, my brother. So yeah, that's the raffle entries so far. So moving along, because like I said, we got some good stuff planned this year, planned today. So you want to support the raffle? Y'all know the means to do so. But let's jump into this content, man, because I'm itching to talk about this. So we're actually going to start with what they say about Dak Prescott and what to expect from him this year. So I found these projections, these quarterback projections on Fantasy Pros. So shout out to them. So this is their projections for Dak Prescott this upcoming season. And then I'm going to actually close the chat box for just 2 seconds on my end. He said, I need prayers, Cowboys fam. My mom's getting more tests tomorrow. They did blood work and said it's pointing towards her having leukemia. God, dog. Man, hey, DC4 Life, Texas, man. I'm so sorry to hear that, man. You know, please, man. Y'all say a prayer for my guy. Send some prayers up for him. You know, pray for healing for his mother. You know, pray that everything goes, goes well for her. Pray that the tests come back negative, man. You know, they'll be very supportive of DC4 Life Texas, man. You know, he's been a supporter for a long time. Always comes through showing love, being positive, amping us up in the chat box. So y'all please, take the time out and say a prayer for him. Let him know that we care. Let him know that we here for him, man. Like I said, this is a family in this chat box, man. We've been rocking with each other. So, man, just, matter of fact, we'll take a moment of silence too, man, so we can say prayers, give us support. All right, amen. Hey, we here for you, my guy. We here for you. Hey, thank you, DC4 Life Texas, man. I appreciate that super, man. He said, thank you, Henny. Thanks, Cowboy Nation. Man, we appreciate you for everything you do, guy. Just let us know how everything go with your moms, man. You're in our prayers, my brother. Real talk. Okay. So real quick, we're gonna talk about what they expect from your quarterback. So they actually had these projections broken down. They had the projected attempts, the projected completions. They had the projected yardage, touchdowns, and interceptions as well. They even had their projected rushing attempts and rushing touchdowns listed here as well. So in terms of touchdown passes, they are projecting Patrick Mahomes to throw for 37.6, Joe Burrow to throw for 33, Josh Allen to throw for 32.4, Kirk to throw for 30.7, Justin Herbert to throw for 29.6, and they have Dak Prescott throwing the sixth most passing touchdowns in the NFL. They are expecting Dak Prescott to throw 29.4 passing touchdowns this year, and to also throw for 4,125 yards to go along with 13 interceptions. They also expect him to have 58 rushing attempts, 248 rushing yards, and 2.4 rushing touchdowns. So those are the numbers that they are projecting for Dak Prescott during the course of the 2023 season. What's up with you, Stephen White? So let me give y'all my opinion on that. Right, just based on everything. Hey, real talk. It definitely changes the mood, man. Because we use football as an escape, but like real stuff happens, man. So it's every day we get to come together and talk football and be around each other and do this, that, and the third, man. It's always a blessing. It's always a blessing, and I thank God for it, man. Like real talk. Salute to Brian Kite, man. Shout out to you, my brother. But yeah, so they're saying that Dak Prescott's going to throw about 29 touchdowns, throw 13 interceptions, throw for over 4,000 yards. This is what I think about it. So let's just look at the past. So the last 2 seasons, and I'm going to say it slow because, Wes always tell me when I say profound numbers to say it slowly so that they resonate with people. Over the last 2 seasons, where Dak Prescott has played at least 16 games, he has thrown for over 4,400 yards, and he's thrown for at least 30 touchdowns. That happened in 2019. He played 16 games. He threw 30 touchdowns, threw for over 4,900 yards that season. And in 2021, he played 16 games. He threw 37 touchdowns, over 4,400 yards, and only 10 interceptions. So, given Dak Prescott's history, Right, his recent history of when he plays at least 16 games of throwing 30 touchdowns. We're going to lock Dak Prescott in for 30 touchdowns minimum, right? So 30 touchdowns minimum is what Dak Prescott is going to throw. And listen, I want y'all, because you know we do sports bets over here, right? We do sports bet, we do make tickets, future bets, all the other good stuff, right? So you know, don't just take these numbers with a grain of salt. So you know, if you're making a futures bet, and you can take Dak Prescott for the over under on touchdowns he's going to throw this season, you should take the over on 30. Every time Dak Prescott plays 16 games or more, he's going to throw 30 touchdowns or more. Especially given that we're moving to a West Coast system, especially given the fact that we have improved our offensive weapon and offensive personnel around him, and we should actually have a better pass blocking line, you know, if injuries do not occur. So if you actually look at all those factors, the 30 touchdowns is pretty much a given for Dak Prescott, right, in this projection. But we know, given the principles that we are expecting the Dallas Cowboys to run this year, we are expecting the Dallas Cowboys to run more play action sets for Dak Prescott. And when you think about what Dak Prescott does with play action, he averages about 68, you know, a career completion percentage of 68.3%. He's thrown 48 touchdowns to only 11 interceptions when he utilizes play action. Brian Schottenheimer utilizes a very high play action rate in his offensive scheme. So, you know, I expect Dak Prescott to use a concept that he is more familiar with, more comfortable with at a higher rate. So I do expect him to throw over 30 touchdowns. And because we are attempting to have more shots down the field, because this is a chunk play offensive scheme that Brian Schottenheimer runs, his concepts are to try and get 15, 20, 25, 30 yards when they utilize the pass plays. So the yardage will still be there. So over here at HTM Sports, I wholeheartedly believe that Dak Prescott is, I'm going even further. I think that Dak Prescott is going to reset his own personal best this season. I think Dak Prescott throws for 38 passing touchdowns, about 10 to 12 interceptions. He'll throw about 45 to 4,600 yards. And I'm going to go even further. I think Dak Prescott has 3 rushing touchdowns, you know, for the first time since 2020. Dak Prescott rushed for 3 rushing touchdowns in 2020 before going down with a leg injury. So I actually think that aspect of his game will return. So I am expecting Dak Prescott to rush for 3 rushing touchdowns this year and give you about 300 yards on the ground. So I am expecting Dak Prescott in totality to score about 41. I'll go even further. Because Dak Prescott is going to use more play action, and because inside of a West Coast system, you generally utilize more screen passes. I think that he'll have more high percentage pass plays called for him. So I think Dak Prescott completes close to 68 or 69% of his passes. See, Dwayne Brown said he think he'll rush for more. It's a possibility. It's a very good possibility that he might rush for a couple more. Because remember, they are talking about utilizing the scramble drill more often. They are talking about incorporating him in the run game. And even last year, you know, he had more quarterback keepers in the red zone. Because remember, he just didn't score on a couple of those quarterback keepers, but you know, they still ran them. Like he got stopped short in the Jacksonville game for running a touchdown in. He got stopped short, you know, in the Eagles game for running a touchdown in. Like, so they have brought back the red zone read option for Dak Prescott. Right. So hey, Dwayne Brown, you might be right. We might be a little low on the rushing touchdowns. Right. But either way, if you think he'll score a couple more rushing touchdowns, I still think Dak Prescott will complete over 65% of his passes, Sugar Daddy One. right? I think that he'll complete about 67 to 60 to 68% of his passes. He'll throw for about 38 touchdowns. He'll run for 3 or more rushing touchdowns, and he'll have over 4,400 yards passing. Those are my projections, just based on the history of Dak Prescott, knowing what he did the last 2 seasons that he played 16 games, knowing that we're moving to an offensive system that utilizes more screens and more play action passes. I think that Dak Prescott is finally going to be in an offensive system where he doesn't have to be Superman every time. Sugar Daddy One said 10 plus goal line touchdowns. Now listen, if Dak, I don't even need 10. If Dak Prescott, because in rushing touchdowns is 6 in the season, his career best for rushing touchdowns is 6 in the season. So I tell you what, if he can give me that and still give me about 35 passing touchdowns, I'll be elated. Because don't get me wrong, I still think that Dak Prescott is going to score over 40 touchdowns total. Big Benny Rich, what's up with you, man? I appreciate you for spinning the block. Salute to you. So yeah, so I agree with some of this, but I think that his numbers will actually be better. I think he'll throw less interceptions than a 13. Right, I think 12 is the most he'll throw, and even then it's pushing it based on the concepts we're running. Hey, we're gonna talk about Cooks and CeeDee Lamb too. We're gonna talk about Cooks, CeeDee Lamb, and Tony Pollard before we get out of here. I did not look up the projected offensive production for the tight ends because we do not even know who the starting tight end will be week 1. We think I believe it'll be Jake Ferguson, but that's too much of a guess. So, I did compile the numbers for CeeDee Lamb. I did compile the numbers for Tony Pollard. I did compile the numbers for Brandon Cooks. And, of course, the guy we're looking at, Dak Prescott. So what do y'all think, man, about the HTM sports projections compared to this? I'm gonna write down my final thoughts on that. I say 68% completion percentage. I'm going to lock it in at 68. 40, I'm gonna put a number on it. I say Dak Prescott throws for 4,600 yards, 38 passing touchdowns. And Dwayne, you sort of weighed me a little bit. I'm going to say I'm gonna just come up one though. I'm gonna say 4 rushing touchdowns then. So over here at HTM Sports, I say Dak completes 68% of his passes, 4,600 yards, 38 passing touchdowns, 4 rushing touchdowns, to come out to 42 total touchdowns on the season, and a All-Pro selection. They'll never give him MVP. They'll never give him first team. So I say that Dak Prescott makes second team All-Pro, and he's a Pro Bowler. Those are gonna be my projections. Terrell Bigelow said 4,600, 36 passing, 5 rushing. Hey, we're close. We're close on the numbers, man. I think I gave Dak Prescott 1 more total touchdown than you did. Hey, family, was busy booking my training camp hotel. I forgot about the live. Sorry, I'm late, Henny. They said, I agree with you. 2 more passing touchdowns than I had them. Yeah, and listen, I think the consensus is Dak Prescott's going to score about 40 touchdowns. I think that's a consensus. No, hey, I did not give him 13 interceptions. Matter of fact, how many interceptions did Dak Prescott? Not Dak Prescott, but how many interceptions did Patrick Mahomes throw last year? I think Patrick Mahomes threw like 14 or 12 interceptions last year. Let me see. He won MVP. So let me take a look at him from last year. Yeah, Patrick Mahomes threw 12 interceptions last year. And he threw 13 interceptions the year before. Yeah, so yeah, you could definitely make an All-Pro team if you throw 12 or 13 interceptions. It just depends on how many touchdowns you throw. But listen, Patrick Mahomes won an MVP throwing 12 interceptions. So yeah, if Dak Prescott throws 12 or 13 interceptions and he put up the rest of these numbers, he should still make an All-Pro team. Anyone else a big Eagles fan that watched the Avengers cry when Thor beheads Thanos? Hey, what they at now, Mickey? What the subs looking like? I ain't get a chance to check them. But yeah, Michael H, I'm projecting for Dak Prescott this year because I didn't give him 13 interceptions. You know, this is the Fantasy Pros projections for him. Because remember, Dak Prescott, 23% of his career interceptions actually occurred this year. Right? He threw 15 interceptions. He only has 65. Oh, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. Hey, I appreciate y'all for all the love, man. Like y'all definitely have been helping your boy out, man, with the subs, with the shares, with the likes. Hey, we gonna see what it looking like, man. Oh, it's at 1,030. It's at 1,030. But yeah, it's definitely growing. It's definitely growing. But yeah, Michael H, I gave Dak 68% completion percentage, 4,600 passing yards, 38 passing touchdowns, 4 rushing touchdowns, and then I'm giving. I said he only gonna throw about 10. I'm gonna give him 10 interceptions, 10 to 11 interceptions. I don't think he'll get to 13 or 12, just because of the passing concepts. It is not a problem, man. Thank y'all. Hey, shout out to DC for Life Texas for sending the additional 5. That got you a entire entry into the Dallas Cowboy raffle. So they got you another entry, my boy. So you now have 3 entire entries. So yeah, you went from 2 to 3 entries, my guy. So salute to you. Salute, brother. And if y'all want to be like my boy DC for Life and improve your odds of winning these beautiful Dallas Cowboy home game tickets to see them destroy the Dallas Cowboy, to see the Dallas Cowboy destroy the Philadelphia Eagles, because they ain't winning in Dallas, no way. They ain't won in Dallas in 2017. So if you want to go see a sure victory, hit the Cash App, hit the super chats, hit the super stickers. I appreciate y'all. So I get it. In all projections and personal opinions. Not taking it that serious. Oh, it's all love, man. We ain't tripping. Like I say, hey, it's June the 13th, man. What Eastside say? Oh, he gave it a thumbs down. It's okay, man. We missed you, Eastside. I ain't seen you in so long, man. How you been? Pinches want to lose so they can fly home and eat shit. Exactly. Yeah, man. It's June the 13th. We ain't got nothing better to do. So we might as well, chop it up about this stuff. So that's where I stand on Dak Prescott this season. I think we're all close to feeling the same way. Given the new system, the new scheme, the personnel, I think we'll rock like that. I think we'll be good. All right, so moving along. Let's move along to don't do Eastside so well, man. I just let him out of prison. Like one of y'all had whacked Eastside, and I didn't even know y'all had whacked the boy. And somebody probably, check your block list, because somebody had whacked Eastside. Somebody had whacked the boy, and I had to take him off the block list. I didn't even know he had got blocked. So yeah, bro, you might want to check your block list. One of your admins probably got him. Yeah, one of your admins had probably put a hit on that boy. Tavis Banks in the building. What's up with your Keystone? All right, so we just looked at Dak. So let's go ahead and look at his weapons. Let's take a look at what they're expecting from. Ooh, matter of fact, no, let's not do that. Let's look at Tony Pollard first, because this is going to be a very interesting conundrum for us this year. So let's take a look at the yardage. All right, so if y'all can see, let me know if y'all can see it. Oh yeah, he a Cowboy fan on low, man. We already put 2 and 2 together. You know, he done stopped short of doing everything except for saying DC4L, man. Said landlord from Wakanda said Pollard will have 1,500 yards from scrimmage. I said he have 16. And, you know, I came up with that number because he was only like 230 something yards from having 1,600 yards from scrimmage this year. Right? So let's take a look. So they got Tony Pollard right here. They say that Tony Pollard is going to have 217 rushing attempts this year. They said that he'll have about 1,091 yards rushing. They say he'll have close to 8 rushing touchdowns. Then they also said he'll have about 379 receiving yards and about 2 receiving touchdowns. Right? So that's what they said about OG Tony Pollard. So let me shut this down real quick, this part right here. And let's go take a look at the breakdown of Tony Pollard's touches, yardage this year to see if we can get a clear understanding of what exactly he did. Because Tony, I think a lot of people are underestimating how little Tony Pollard actually touched the ball and how much production that he actually had in comparison to that. Right, so let me get this pulled up so we can chop it up about that. So I got Tony Pollard's numbers pulled up now. If you want to know the website, this is Pro Football Reference. This is they actually keep track of the official NFL numbers that which they go off of. So Tony Pollard had 193. Right, this is his year right here that I highlighted. He had 193 rushing attempts last year, and he had 39 receptions last year. Right, so let's do the quick simple math on that to see how many overall touches that was. So 193 on the ground, 39 through the air. So that means that Tony Pollard only had 232 touches last year. And he only played 16 games, not the full 17. So if you divide that 232 touches last year by 16, Tony Pollard only averaged 14.5 touches a game. So put that number in the chat box, 14.5. Tony Pollard only averaged 14.5 touches a game last year. Put that in the chat box for me. I need some class participation. So only 14.5 touches a game. Let me see them 14.5s in the chat box real quick. Matt Leslie got his 14.5 down. All right. Appreciate you for participating. 14.5 for Sugar Daddy 1. I see you. 14.5 for Stephen Harrison. Okay. So despite... he said he only needs 12.5, right? Yeah, that's crazy. He got $10 million guaranteed off of only 14.5, touches a game, right? So not even 15 whole touches a game. Despite that fact, Tony Pollard still had 1,007 yards rushing and 371 yards receiving. So if you add that together, 1,007 plus 371 comes out to 1,378 yards. So he got 1,378 yards on only 232 touches. Meaning that Tony Pollard averaged on over 5.9 yards a touch. He averaged over 5.9 yards a touch. So every time that Tony Pollard got the ball, he basically was getting 6 yards. So he was basically getting 6 yards every time he touched the ball. With that said, I think Pollard will have 215 rushes, 20 receptions. I think that Well, Zeke averaged 3.9 yards a carry. I actually would have to do the math to see how many he averaged a touch. Because a touch would be rush or reception. So Tony Pollard touches and receptions combined average about 6 yards. Right. So let's say that the projections are true. Let's use their projections, because we know, because he's going to be running back number one, he is going to have to get more than 193 carries. He's going to probably get more than 39 receptions. So let's say the numbers were true. Right. So let's just do the simple math. Let's add together the touches. So if he gets 217.4 receptions, and then he gets 52 points. Hold up, I'm tripping. He gets 45. Okay, then he gets 45 receptions. That would be 262.4 touches this season. Will be slightly above what he did last year. So if you multiply that by the 5, all right, so let's round that. So let's say that's 262. Let's round down to 262. And let's say he still averages 6 yards a touch. So that will put Tony Pollard right at 1,572 yards from scrimmage. If we do the simple math. Then Tony Pollard will get 1,572 yards from scrimmage. And that's over 6 games. 16 games. That's a 16 game average. So Tony Pollard, let's just say we use their touches. Let's say we just use their touches based on his actual, yardage per touch from last year. This man's going to play his way out of Dallas. There is no way that Tony Pollard gets 1,500, 1,600 yards from scrimmage, and the Dallas Cowboys are able to pay him what he is worth. It is just not going to happen like that. They already did not want to pay him now off of 1,300 yards from scrimmage. And, he had 10 total touchdowns, I think. 12 total touchdowns, I think. Matter of fact, Tony Pollard had 9 rushing touchdowns and 3 receiving touchdowns. So he had 12 touchdowns from scrimmage. So 12 touchdowns and 1,300 yards got him franchise tagged. 1,600 yards and 12 or 13 total touchdowns is going to get him out the door, because if he put up that production last year and made a Pro Bowl selection, if he puts up better numbers, he's going to be an All-Pro this year. Tony Pollard is probably going to be an All-Pro running back if all his averages line up and he gets the number of touches that they project him to get. So it's going to be very hard for the Dallas Cowboys to keep Tony Pollard, but I do expect him to have similar numbers to that. So based on the analytical numbers, I'll use their projections. Let's give him the 200. Let's give him all that. I'm saying that Tony Pollard is going to end the season, and I don't know how it'll come. He might have a couple more carries than I expect. He might have a couple more receptions than I expect. But I expect Tony Pollard, to have 262 touches, 1,572 yards, and I'll say he'll have about 13 to 14 total touchdowns. Let's just say 13 on the low side. It's one up from what he had last year. So for Tony Pollard, I got 262 touches, 1,572 yards from scrimmage, 13 touchdowns from scrimmage. What are y'all thoughts about Tony Pollard's projected production during the 2023 season? Talk to me. Put it in the chat box. Let's compare notes. Let's compare numbers. Let's compare notes. Also, real quick, let's take a quick little like break. Right now, I got 50 people on the show, and we ain't at 50 likes yet. So go ahead, hit that like button, hit that share button. Continue to support the raffles. Hit the super chats. Hit the cash apps. What y'all feeling about Tony Pollard, man? I need y'all thoughts and opinions on this. said, all right. So Sugar Daddy One said he got him for 1,300 yards, 13 touchdowns. Hey, it could still happen like that. He could have 1,300 yards rushing, about 2 something receiving. Oh, and Michael H, the 262 is rushing and receptions combined. Yeah, that's rushing and reception combined. I think he'll get about 217 carries. As for Ezekiel Elliott, I think he had over 300 carries in the season. So Ezekiel Elliott had well over 300 carries in a season before. He actually had over 300 carries multiple times. But real quick, I'm finna run to the restroom. In the meantime, I'm going to play this video of the Philadelphia Eagles being in total anarchy and fear of Dak Prescott while I am running to the gentleman's room. So I'll be right back.
Yeah.
I mean,
Dallas tough too. Dak always kills us, so he's healthy for week. Dak always kills us. So
yeah, that fucker, he always does it too. Yeah.
Week 9 against Dallas, 4:25 p.m. We got, if we have Hurts and they have Dak, it would only be their second time playing against each other. In the first game, Hurts got beat pretty bad. 2021, we lost pretty bad against them when Dak and Hurts both played. And then last year, obviously, we had the backup, so didn't happen. That's going to be a tough. I mean, that's like getting a big it's getting a big time weight off our shoulders. Like if we could just beat that team with Dak, I just feel so good about that. Because to be honest, we haven't done it in forever. Since 2019, they haven't beat the Cowboys with Dak Prescott. And we all talk about how he's mediocre and all this, but plays well against us. So we got to go out there and I think we got to go out there and win. He's healthy for week.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. I'm back. I thought I'd leave y'all with something entertaining while I had to run and do that. Yeah, I love that video, man. I just love, hearing the Eagles, sound like they finna have to go fight Debo. But hey, Dak Prescott is Debo to the Philadelphia Eagles. No, they played him 11 times and they only beat him 3 times. One time, he didn't even play the full game. That we already had the number 1 seed clinched. He played 2 series. Another time, Ezekiel Elliott was suspended and he was a sophomore. The third time, he had a shoulder injury that he ended up getting surgery on. So they had that. Hey, did you know? Hey, that's crazy. But the Philadelphia Eagles have not beaten Dak Prescott healthy since 2017. They have not beaten a healthy Dak Prescott since 2017. They hang their hats on that 2019 win, but Dak Prescott ended up having shoulder surgery after the season. Our defense will be better than 3rd, 4th DB starting our secondary. Of course, Minshew was capable of having a real good stat. Yeah, they horrified of Dak Prescott, man. They horrified. He is the boogeyman in Philadelphia. He is the I'm gonna see if I can get a shirt pressed up with Dak Prescott on it. It says Mayor of Philly. Dak is Debo, man. Dak is Debo. They out here tucking chains, getting their bike took. Hey, they did pick up Marcus Mariota. So, they did get a quarterback that better suits the play calling, so they don't have to change the play calling if Jalen Hurts was to get injured. So I do understand that slightly. But yeah, man. So just so we can go back through what we got so far. Right now, we are projecting Dak Prescott to finish the season with a 68% completion percentage, 4,600 passing yards, 38 passing touchdowns, 4 rushing touchdowns, and that comes up to 42 total touchdowns and 10 interceptions. Then what I got for Dak, For Tony Pollard, I am projecting him to have 262 touches, 1,572 yards from scrimmage, and 1,300. I mean, not 1,300, which he scored 1,300 touchdowns, but 13 touchdowns. Boy, if he scored 1,300 touchdowns, then like we win the next 30 Super Bowls, don't we? Yeah, I'm wild. I don't know. I said that boy finna score. Man, I hope that's true. He said 68%. I will take that. Hey, Dak Prescott had a down year and completed 66% of his passes. And then in like 2021, he completed like, what, 69, 68? Let me see what Dak Prescott best for a season was in terms of completion percentage. I think it was like 68 or 69. So let's see. All right. So Dak Prescott has completed 68% of his passes 2 years twice. In 2020, he completed 68% of his passes. In 2021, he completed 68.8% of his passes. He's also completed 67% of his passes twice. In 2016 as a rookie, and in 2018 he completed over 67% of his passes. So yeah, Dak Prescott is good for at least a completion percentage of 67%. He actually had a completion percentage of 68% this year, you know, heading into the last game of the season, the Washington Commanders. But he played so poorly in that game that it actually dropped his completion percentage for the year to 66. So Dak Prescott still, you know, is good for about 68% of his passes being completed. Y'all forget Dak Prescott he has like the eighth or seventh highest career completion percentage in NFL history. Yeah, matter of fact, let me double check. Yeah, he's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. Dak Prescott is 8th all time in career completion percentage. So yeah. So yeah, he's good to throw for about 68, complete about 68% of his passes. Right, that's great for a quarterback, man. You complete 66% of your passes on the year. You're doing pretty good. You're doing pretty good for yourself, man. So yeah, that's the rundown on Dak and Tony. So again, Dak 68% of his passes will be completed, 4,600 yards, 38 passing touchdowns, 4 rushing, only 10 turnovers. I got Tony Pollard 262 touches, 1,572 yards from scrimmage, and 13 total touchdowns. So let's move on to the wide receivers. Right, that's what I want to look at next. So we're gonna look at wide receiver 1, and we're gonna look at wide receiver 2. We're gonna take a look at CeeDee Lamb first, then we'll take a look at his new running mate, Brandon Cooks. Right, and you know, I even give y'all an extra one, man. We'll even look at the big 3. We'll look at Michael Gallup. All right, so let me screen share this. Hey, that's a very false narrative, Moves Brown, to say that Dak Prescott is a dink and dunk quarterback. Because you take a look, because you know I be having stuff in the chamber for y'all when y'all come in here. When you take a look at average depth of target, Dak Prescott is actually towards the top. Dak Prescott's average depth of target is actually better than Jalen Hurts, Aaron Rodgers, Trevor Lawrence, Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, and Daniel Jones. At least for the 2022 season it was. So, you know, 2016, 2017, you might have had a valid argument. But Dak Prescott last year, his average depth of target for a player was 8.7. Jalen Hurts' average depth of target was 8.6. Aaron Rodgers' average depth of target was 8.5. So to say that he was a dink and dunk quarterback is trolling, and it's bad trolling, because I always have ammunition on deck because, you know, I deal with a lot of Eagles fans. So all the narratives that y'all have for me, I have ammunition for that. So moving along to what we were talking about in regards to the projections for CeeDee Lamb and the projections for Michael Gallup and Brandon Cooks, this entire wide receiving core. No, he definitely cannot run better than Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is a better athlete, and Jalen Hurts. You know what is crazy? Jalen Hurts actually already has more career rushing attempts than Dak Prescott does. Through his first 3 years, he already has more career rushing attempts than Dak Prescott. I found that very intriguing when I was breaking down some numbers earlier. And that's really why I said, like, he gonna have to run, he gonna have to throw the ball a little bit more. Because that man already has, he only been a full-time starter 2 years, and he has more career rushing attempts than a quarterback that's been in the league for 7, going on 8. So he gonna definitely have to start throwing the ball, more often, or at least even if they don't, run, even if they don't want him to run the throw the ball more, they need to supplement that part of the run game with more running back carries, maybe. But he's not gonna stay healthy if he keep having to average 11 and 9 rushing attempts a game. And listen, he a Texas kid, so I do want him to stay healthy and have a long career. Oh, I talk about career completion. Oh, we were talking about career completion percentage. Now I can go and look at his career average depth of target, and I'm pretty sure it's still above league average. Yeah, I'm pretty sure his average depth of target for his career is still all but. Hurts an all-pro quarterback, old head. Well, hey, and Lamar Jackson is an MVP, and he is still not a guy that people really think can throw the ball like that. So, hey, more power to you. More power to you, Moves Brown. I'm just saying, if your boy wants to stay healthy and have a long NFL career, you're gonna have to stop running. Because you can win MVPs as a running quarterback, because Cam Newton did it, Lamar Jackson did it. But you're also gonna get hurt, because Lamar Jackson's been hurt the last 2 seasons. Cam Newton got hurt and was never the same. So I'm just saying, because listen, he a Texas kid. I got love for Jalen Hurts. I want him to do good, but he is not going to. He ain't gonna last. Y'all running that boy like that. I'm not saying that he can't develop into that. He said, "What Dak need to do? Nothing. He just stay Dak. All Dak Prescott got to do is continue to be Dak Prescott. The last time I checked, from offensive production, he's still a top 10 quarterback. His career is like 7.6. Okay, that's still higher than what league average is. Exactly what? You do realize the last 17 quarterbacks that went to the Super Bowl and lost, their first Super Bowl appearance, never won. Right? So just because he made it, the odds actually say that he has a better chance of never winning a championship, than actually winning one. I think it was like, who was the last quarterback that went to a Super Bowl, lost their Super Bowl debut, and then won? I think it was like Elway. They all more successful than Dak, bro. I can't tell. Because last time I checked, Lamar Jackson only has one playoff win compared to Dak Prescott, right? Cam Newton is asking for a job right now. Yeah, it was Elway. The last quarterback that lost their Super Bowl debut and actually ended up winning was John Elway. Man, listen, I like Brown. No, when he comes to the chat, we're gonna argue. So yeah, ain't nobody tripping on that, man. So back to the regular scheduled programming, because we have an actual outline for a show. Instead of arguing, with our fellow NFC East fans, we're going to actually get back to the numbers. So wide receivers, this is what they are projecting for the wide receivers this year. Let's take a look at overall yardage to start with, shall we? All right, and there's CeeDee Lamb right here. So they are projecting CeeDee Lamb to have 97 receptions, 1,260 yards, and about 8 touchdowns. They say 7.8. Let's round. All right. So that will put him among their projections, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're projecting CeeDee Lamb to have the 7th most yards in the NFL next year. So let's talk about CeeDee Lamb real quick, and if I agree about this overall projection and what to expect from here moving forward. Right. So let's see what we can expect from CeeDee Lamb moving forward. So over his first 3 years in Dallas, CeeDee Lamb has completely rewrote the record books for catches and yards for a wide receiver in his first 3 seasons. Because he is an all-pro wide receiver, because he has versatility to play inside of the slot and also play as a boundary wide receiver, as an outside wide receiver, I do expect him to actually eclipse the 100 reception mark. I do think CeeDee Lamb, because of his depth of target, because he's going to be closer to the line of scrimmage a lot of times, and because he has a running mate, because he has a wide receiver on the other side who is a true home run threat with 4.3 speed and can run all the routes. I don't expect CeeDee Lamb to have to worry about too much bracket coverage, because before you could bracket cover CeeDee Lamb, and you wouldn't really expect other wide receivers to break loose, make plays, do this, that, and the third. Well, now you have better wide receiving threats outside of CeeDee Lamb. He said the teams that better than Dallas, Philly. AJ Brown is way better than CeeDee Lamb drops. Huh, that's crazy. So let me take a look. So you think that AJ Brown is better? Okay. And you brought up drops because you said that. Okay. So who had more drops last year? So let's see who had more drops last year compared to CeeDee Lamb and what's that boy name? AJ Brown. So let's take a look at the drops, shall we? So that's targets. Here go drops. All right. So last year, AJ Brown and CeeDee Lamb had the same amount of drops. They both had 6 drops last year. So it was CeeDee Lamb and CeeDee Lamb drops. What did that make AJ Brown? Because they had the same number of drops. He had the same number of drops. They both had 6. So are you trying to say that AJ Brown has a drop problem, huh? That what you're trying to relate to me, that AJ Brown also has a drop problem? Oh, okay. I'm just making sure. Hey, if we're going off raw production from last year, then and listen, it is a 1-year sample size. They both, made all pro. We know that AJ Brown was not putting up those kind of numbers in Tennessee based on that offense. We know that offense ran through Derrick Henry. So over the last 2 years, you look at their last 2 years of production, then it's really a conversation. If you just look at last year, then you can tip the hat to AJ Brown. But given the circumstances of Dak Prescott missing 5 games and CeeDee Lamb not having a 100-yard game until Dak Prescott came back, right? So there are some factors about it. There were some factors around why CeeDee Lamb didn't necessarily have the same kind of season. So to be fair, if we're going just off of last season, I understand why you say that about AJ. If we're just going off of entire body of work, then you can say CeeDee though. So But let's just take a look though. They are projecting that boy CD Lamb to do that. So last year, CD Lamb was dominant. We know we had over 1,300 yards. We know we had 9 receiving touchdowns. What about catches? How many catches did he have last year? All right, let's take a look at his receptions. He had 107 receptions. So last year he had 107 receptions, 1,359 yards, and 9 receiving touchdowns, right? And that was on a team when he was the only viable offensive weapon. Right? He was the only viable offensive weapon last year, and he still had over 100 catches. He still had, over 1,300 yards, 9 touchdowns, made second team All-Pro. So, and that was with him not having a running mate. So, I think CD Lamb has a very similar year this year. What's up with you, Scott Riggs? Thank you for tapping in and showing love, man. He says CD over AJ by far, ain't no comparison. Hey, I love CD. I ain't gonna say AJ sucked, cause that would be unfair. But I still would take CD over AJ based on his versatility. He said, why would you? I didn't say just go off of that. But you do realize that that CD Lamb has like more yardage and touchdowns the last 2 seasons than AJ Brown, right? Like I said, he wasn't doing nothing in Tennessee like that, my boy. That's why I said if you only look at last season, then you could say, yeah, AJ Brown. But you just look at the last couple of years, like it's more of a conversation than y'all let on. And there's no telling that he'll do that again. This is the first time that AJ Brown ever been an All-Pro, and he's been in the league longer than CD Lamb, right? So that's the type of stuff I'm getting at. He had Pollard and Schultz. I'm talking about wide receivers. I'm talking about wide receivers. So for this year, I'm gonna say that CD Lamb is going to also have another 100-yard catch season, right? Because I don't think that his targets or anything will change. I think that Brandon Cooks is going to get all those targets left behind by Noah Brown. I think he'll get a majority of the targets left behind by Dalton Schultz, because I do not believe that the tight ends will be as intricate of a part of this pass game as in years past. So I do believe that CD Lamb is going to get about 100 targets or 100 receptions. I think he'll have another 1,300 to 1,400 yard season. And I'm going to put him at about 10. He had 9 last year while being the number 1 without a good running mate. So this year I'm going to put him at 10. I think Brandon Cooks is good for at least an extra touchdown. So my projections right now is going to be CD Lamb, 105 receptions, 1,394 yards, 10 receiving touchdowns. Those are going to be my projections for CD Lamb. He's going to eat. Now, do y'all agree or disagree with that projection? Because listen, I'm not even being homerish. I'm basing it off what he did last year. I'm staying in line, with what they're projecting. Because even the experts are expecting CD Lamb to get 97 catches, 1,200 yards, and about 8 touchdowns. Like my projection is just 2 touchdowns higher. It's only about, 100 or so yards above it, a little bit over 100 more yards. And only about 105. So that's 8 more receptions. So that's not even, a lot more than what they're projecting for him. So yeah, so I definitely think CD Lamb is going to run it back. It's going to make another All-Pro selection, have another 1,300 yard season. You're going to have his first double-digit touchdown catch season. So those are my projections for CD Lamb. Y'all put y'all projections for CeeDee Lamb in the chat box, though, man. You know, we do numbers, we crush numbers, and do things like this along those lines. You know, I like comparing notes, man. I love comparing notes when we do this. And yeah, I can definitely see Brandon Cooks being utilized all over the field, just like CeeDee Lamb. I think they're interchangeable in that way because both can operate outside the slot. You know, both can operate, you know, as outside wide receivers. Choctaw this one went crazy. He said he's gonna have 15 touchdowns, 2,000 yards, 115 receptions. I'm out though, cousin. Don't mess up your segment responding. Keep rolling. Oh yeah, you know good and well I was gonna do that, kinfolk. But hey, I do appreciate you for coming through, showing love, man. Real talk. Spin the block, boy. The sky is the limit for CD. I definitely do believe that. I definitely do believe that CeeDee Lamb is going to have a fantastic season. It said he will solidify 10 targets a game, 1,600 yards, 10 touchdowns. Yeah, 10 targets, you know, should be the floor for CeeDee Lamb. If we're going to throw the ball, let me see. He said 1,100 yards, 10 touchdowns. Listen, we're going to throw the ball 30 times in a game. You know, that's around a nice spot. You know, if we're going to run 65 plays in a game, then you know we need about 35 rushing, about 30 passing around that area. I want to run the ball a little bit more than we pass. So if we're going to throw the ball 30 times, like CeeDee Lamb needs at least 10 of those targets. And because Brandon Cooks is a big play guy, you know, good with yards after the catch, good with chunk yardage, you know, I think he'll still be productive and he doesn't have to have the same amount of targets as CeeDee Lamb. And besides, CeeDee Lamb was the better wide receiver, so of course he should get more targets, right? They usually how that works. Tyler said 1,400 yards, 12 touchdowns. CD 1,600 yards, 12 touchdowns in 2023. I love it, man. I love it. And listen, I think he already is a top 6 wide receiver just based on the fact that he made an all-pro selection. You know, you can't be outside of the top 6 if they voted you as one of the best 6 wide receivers at your position. So yeah, I think he already a top 6 wide receiver, and this year is going to solidify him as a top 4. He's a hot take. Gallup with 1,200 yards. Brandon Cooks must not gonna play. Brandon Cooks was not gonna play because Brandon Cooks is gonna get way more targets than Michael Gallup. The only way I see Michael Gallup getting 1,200 yards passing is if Brandon Cooks is injured. Yeah, because that's the only way I see him getting anything like that. Because listen, there's only so many times they're gonna throw the ball. We already stated that CeeDee Lamb gonna get about 10 targets. So your next best wide receiver is gonna get about 8. You're gonna target Brandon Cooks about 7 times in a game. So let's say that CeeDee Lamb gets 10 targets. Yeah, those are more realistic. About the 750 yards and 6 touchdowns. So yeah. So if CD gets 10 targets, let's say Brandon could get 8 targets. All right, that's 18 targets already. And then you still need 12 targets to go around for the rest of your guys. So CeeDee Lamb might get 5 targets. I mean, not CeeDee Lamb, but Michael Gallup might get 5 targets. Then Tober might get 4 targets, and then whatever your tight ends give you. So yeah, I don't think he'll have enough targets or catches to get up to 1,200 yards. Like I'm more convinced that Michael Gallup will have a 1,600 yard, 6 touchdown season over having a 1,200 yard season. Matter of fact, let's segue. Let's talk about Brandon Cooks. Because he's another wide receiver. I don't even have to change the list. I just got to roll down to where they have him. They got Brandon Cooks. Let's see. There you go. Brandon Cooks is right here. So right now, they project Brandon Cooks to get about 68 receptions, 871 yards, would have easily been our second best wide receiver last year, and 5 receiving touchdowns. I'll be honest with you, even though I think he'll probably have better numbers than that, if that's all he gives me, I am happy as hell. If Brandon Cooks give me 871 yards and 5 touchdowns, man, and he averaged 18, if he averaged 18 yards a damn catch, that's a big play, man, we're gonna go crazy. If we get 871 yards from Brandon Cooks and 5 touchdowns, like that's the sky's the limit for this offense. The sky's the limit for this offense if that happens, man. If that were to happen, then we are great. Hey, Iceberg, I wouldn't be surprised by that because everybody talking about how far that Jalen Tolbert has come in terms of development. When he was on the show, he seemed very confident. You know, like I definitely do think that boy is setting himself up to have a hell of a season, man. Like no doubt, I definitely do think that Jalen Tolbert could overtake Michael Gallup, especially if Michael Gallup gets injured. If Michael Gallup gets dinged and he can't play, a full complementary of games, especially with the fact that there is an out in Michael Gallup's contract next year, they might go ahead and elevate Jalen Tolbert to wide receiver 3. And if we're being honest, you know, even though, and I can't even say that because he can probably do some of the things that Michael Gallup can do. But he talked about one of his biggest strengths being able to high point the ball. We know that he's slightly faster, running a 4.4. We know that he had a 1,400-yard season in college. So yeah, I think Jalen Tolbert is an exceptional player that hasn't really gotten an opportunity just yet. So, you know, if anything were to happen to Michael Gallup, I feel very confident in his ability to step in and solidify that himself as our third wide receiver. Because he fits the scheme so well. He can do the things that Michael Gallup does. And then I think he'll probably be more comfortable playing in the slot than Michael Gallup and running out and getting the ball, running out the catch to Michael Gallup. So, you know, and I'm not trying to pit anybody against each other, but, you know, I definitely do think that he can go out there and excel. Hey, shout out to my boy John Garcia for showing love to the liquor store, man. Salute to you. Is it if Gallup stay healthy, he's the starter. Tolbert true chance is gonna come after Gallup is gone. That's if they stay healthy. And no, that is the thing. Like we all are expecting him, you know, to play a full 16, 17, maybe 15 games. But Michael Gallup has not played a full season in 2 years. He ain't played a full season in 2 years. So, you know, I definitely don't believe that he'll do that. You know, so there's a possibility that Michael Gallup won't play a full season this year. It's a very real possibility. And I hate to say that. I do not want to speak ill or hope anything to happen. But, you know, like, it's a chance he might not. Calvin Watkins said he looks like a number 1 receiver. Brian Browder said Tolbert is the third best receiver on the team. In practice, the defense is playing off Tolbert. Hey, I'm excited. I'm excited. But, you know, I hope that level of competition pushes Michael Gallup to be the Michael Gallup he used to be. I hope knowing that there's a young bull nipping at his heels right now pushes Michael Gallup to have his best season in some years. Said Pollard could be up with the 3rd and 4th receivers when it comes to receptions. Listen, he was like your 4th, or I think Tony Pollard was your 5th leading receiver last year, right? And he wasn't even getting the ball thrown his way that way. He was still like your 5th leading receiver. So if you give him more opportunities to make plays, like, I definitely do think that can go up. So I didn't even give y'all what I thought about Brandon Cooks this shit. I'm really slipping. Y'all forgive me. Y'all forgive your boy. But yeah, so Brandon Cooks, they have him listed at 68 receptions, 871 yards, 5 touchdowns. We're going to throw the ball a little bit more than people expect. I know it's going to be a power run system. But I'm going to say this, though. I don't think it's going to be that much of a difference. I see him getting about 75 receptions, about 950 yards, and I say about 8 touchdowns. So I think we're going to listen. Dak Prescott, I already said Dak Prescott's going to throw 30. I said what, 38? I said Dak Prescott's going to throw for 38 touchdowns. All right. Well, if CeeDee Lamb is going to get 10 of those, right? If CeeDee Lamb going to get 10, then I'm expecting Cooks to at least get 8. So that's 18. So he got to get the other 20 touchdowns somewhere. So yeah, if Dak Prescott is really going to throw 38 touchdowns like I'm projecting him to, then somebody else besides CeeDee Lamb will have to catch some touchdowns. So I think he'll get about 8 to 9 touchdown receptions, about 900 yards. What y'all thoughts though about Brandon Cooks? I'll say and listen, if he gets 1,000 yards, I wouldn't be surprised. So let's say about 900 yards, 9 touchdowns for Brandon Cooks. So we will have the number 1 offensive and number 1 defense. We might, and shout out to Triple D, man, for the $5 super chat. It's a good possibility. Because think about it. The only reason you were not the number 1 offense last year was because Dak Prescott missed those games. But when Dak Prescott was under center, the Dallas Cowboys averaged over 30 points a game and were the number 1 scoring offense in the NFL. Matter of fact, for the last 3 seasons, 2018, 2021, and 2022, when Dak Prescott plays, the Dallas Cowboys have averaged over 30 points and have been the number 1 offense. So I definitely believe that with better weapons, because he has better weapons and a more quarterback-friendly system, Dak Prescott is going to go crazy. He is going to lose his ever-loving mind this year. Like Dak, listen, Dak Prescott is going to legitimately, I think it's going to be like the first time from the start of a season to the end of a season that Dak Prescott is going to be legitimately in the MVP conversation. He's going to legitimately be in the MVP conversation. And no, we understood what you were talking about, bro. Yeah, we got you. He said Henry Cappy again. He know damn well Hurts was fullback born. Y'all play too much, man. Y'all play all day in this chat box, man. And I'm here for it. I am definitely here for it. So yeah, man. So yeah, just based on recent history, when Dak Prescott plays, we score 30 points. We average about 30 points a game. And say, I like this. He said Cooks 67 catches, 968 yards, 7 touchdowns. He gave Gallup 821 and 6. Then he gave Tolbert 39 catches and 7. What did you say Dak was gonna do, bro? Did you say he gonna put us video game numbers? Oh, he said 55 to 60. Okay, he said 55 to 60 touchdowns, 48 to 5,500 yards, 4 to 13 interceptions in the Super Bowl. I'm down for it. Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. Yeah, Iceberg Slim. I could see a way. I could see where that happens. Because you are right. Dak Prescott does spread the ball out. He does spread the ball out. Yeah, this is gonna be. I think this is gonna be Dak Prescott's best opportunity to win an MVP. I do want to point this out to everybody. Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, and Amari Cooper only played 12 games together over a 2-year period. They were together for 2 seasons. They only played 12 games together. Like I expect Brandon Cooks to stay healthy. I expect CeeDee Lamb to stay healthy. You know, I expect Michael Gallup to be here. Like, he's going to play more games this year with those complementary of players than he ever did with Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, and all those other guys. So I think Dak Prescott is going to go crazy. People forget he did what he did in 2021 with Michael Gallup missing majority of the season. Yeah. Now, there's a difference between wanting to throw the ball to Brandon Cooks, right? I don't mind Brandon Cooks getting some targets, right? The issue that I had with them throwing the ball to Noah Brown. Like, there's still a gap between CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Cooks, but it's not a damn valley, right? There's not a valley because both of them have been number one receivers. The gap between CeeDee Lamb and Noah Brown is as wide as it is from me to China. You know, that was where the issue came, because there was like CeeDee Lamb, then it was everybody else down at the bottom. So yeah, so I don't really mind them throwing the ball to Brandon Cooks as long as CeeDee Lamb still gets the majority of the targets. But you know, I feel real good about Brandon Cooks' ability to make plays, run with the ball out the catch, you know, get vertical. I love Brandon Cooks, man. Like, he's gonna redefine what it means to be a playmaker. Right, throwing the ball to Noah Brown on third downs and doing all that other goofy stuff they were doing, man. Like, those are the kind of things that made no schematic sense to me. It made no schematic sense why they were out here playing with the church's money like that. Yeah, Noah Brown did have to go. He did have to go. Like, you know, and I got love for Noah Brown. He played the best football that we could ask Noah Brown to play. But we're being honest about everything in life. Sometimes your best is not good enough. Is that Dak the only quarterback I've seen with a new OC every 3 years and still go crazy? Bro, yeah, you're right. This is going to be Dak Prescott's third offensive coordinator. He only been a Dallas Cowboy for 8 damn seasons. This is going to be his 8th year, because he had Linehan for 3 years. He had Kellen Moore for 4 years. And now he's finna move over and get Mike McCarthy. He's going to have Mike McCarthy and Brian Schottenheimer. So this is Dak Prescott's third offensive coordinator. And what's messed up about it, this is the first time that he has had a competent offensive coordinator. This is the first time he has had a competent offensive coordinator. So you know what, man? Like, I see the sky being the limit for Dak Prescott. I see the sky being the limit for Dak Prescott. As long as the offensive line is playing well. Hey, I thank you, Dwayne Brown. I appreciate you for the 10. Dwayne Moore said, what hasn't been said is this offense may be the fastest offense. Bro, on my mama, I said that the other show, man. On my mama, you know what the hell you talk about, Dwayne. So, hey, Dwayne Brown, salute to you. They got you another entry into the raffle. So right now you have 5 entries, my brother. So you got 5 entries for the Dallas Cowboy ticket raffle. So salute to you, Dwayne Morris. Bro, this I know for a fact these are probably the fastest players that have been around Dak. So you got to think about it. They didn't really utilize Tavon Austin like that. And he only had Bryce Butler for like a season. For like 2 seasons, maybe. So we got Tony Pollard, who runs a 4.3. We got Brandon Cooks, who runs a 4.3. We got Kevontae Turpin, who runs a 4.2. Right? And we expect all 3 of these guys to contribute on offense this year. So boom. That's not even factoring the fact that Jalen Tolbert runs a 4.4. And he's faster than at least 40 time wise, he's faster than Michael Gallup. So, bro, we might you might have made me see. You might have made me focus on something right here. Then we picked up another 4-3 guy. We picked up Tyron Johnson, who runs a 4-3. He averaged almost 20 yards a catch back in 2020. So you might be on to something, Dwayne Morris. Yeah, Dwayne, you're on to something. Oh, also, Dwayne, you're $5 away from having a full entry to win a Dallas Cowboy ticket, and that also goes for you, Triple D. So Triple D and Dwayne Morris, y'all are $5 away from being entered into the raffle to win a Dallas Cowboy game ticket. So salute to y'all. All right, yeah. I think this is our, and listen, it may not be our fastest team ever, but it is definitely our fastest team, since Dak Prescott's been here. Because no shade. We all know that Dez Bryant was not a burner. Matter of fact, we were a super slow wide receiving core when Dak Prescott first got here. Because Terrence Williams only ran like a 4.5. Hey, all right, I got you in there now, man. So Dwayne Morris, I'm finna go ahead and input you in. Boom, Dwayne Morris. They got you an entry, brother. So salute to you. Said, why you matching those receivers? Pollard's a 4-3 player. Facts. And listen, Tony Pollard running a Texas route out the backfield, lined up against a safety or a linebacker, it's going to always be a mismatch. It's going to always be a mismatch. Hey, what's up with you, Joshua Fisher? Man, I hate you just now coming in here, man. We've been going crazy with the stats and the projections, man. This is definitely going to be worth a rewatch. Matter of fact, it might be worth me clipping and putting it into short form. What y'all think? I might need to put some of these talking points into short form content for y'all so y'all can catch it. So that y'all can catch it. Yeah. I definitely think I'll do that. As far as utilization of players, it could be the greatest show on turf. Man, listen. Yeah, Patrick Creighton was fast. Austin was fast. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that because I do understand me going live an hour and 2 hours. Y'all is not gonna catch everything. So we stop and talk about random things. I get sidetracked. So I'm definitely gonna cut this up. I'm gonna put into short form content, and I'm gonna going to redistribute it back out. So yeah, that definitely sounds like a winner. So that way y'all ain't got to just remember what's going on. Yo, it's too easy, man. What's up with you, my bro? I appreciate you for tapping in and showing love to the liquor store, my brother. Salute to you. But yeah, this is definitely probably one of the fastest wide receiving cores that we've had in a very long time. So you know what? I'm actually going to make a standalone video about that too. Like, I think this is going to be the fastest one. Hey, Triple D, I got you in too, man. So that 5 got you over. So that got you an entry for the Dallas Cowboy ticket. So let me see. Okay, cool. Triple D. So they got you an entry, my brother. So salute to y'all. And remember, it only take one entry to win, man. Like I said, this is going to be selected randomly on that same app that I always use. And since I'm giving away 3 different items, one entry gets you a chance to win 3 different things. So, best bang for your buck ever. Hey, shout out to Donald Holmes. They got you another entry into the raffle. He's hit the Cash App. So, Donald Holmes, you now have 2 entries. So, salute to you. So, hey, like I said, 3 prizes. So, y'all all got good odds of winning something, man. And I think I'm gonna keep that same format going forward. I think I'm gonna keep my 3 prize format. I don't know just yet, depending on how economic it is. But I definitely do want to get more people opportunities to get dope stuff. Definitely think I should do that. So Dak Prescott is tired of people talking. He is my early MVP. 5,000 yards, 45 to 52 touchdowns. Hey, I mean that's not too far off. That's not too far off for what I had. Because I had for the season 4,600 yards, 42 total touchdowns. Right? I had 42 total. So Your low end is only 3 more than what I said. And I definitely think it's possible with the firepower we have. I seen that boy throw 37 touchdowns when he didn't under Kellen Moore. So Said features 4, 3, 4, 4, even the run speed all up and down the roster. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, we got a bunch of 4-3 and 4-4 guys on here, man. I think we have more of these kind of guys that we had in a very long time. But yeah, man, I'm going to. Matter of fact, I think I'm gonna get off here and work on that for y'all, man. I'm gonna jump off here, clip this stuff, make some short form content out of it, redistribute it so y'all can catch it. Because a lot of y'all came in late, so y'all missed the fireworks. We did have a great breakdown statistically about what was we were projecting to happen this season. So I'm gonna get off here and do that. So I appreciate y'all for all the love, the support. On the way out, man, continue to hit that like button. They said, what positions groups do we need to reinforce? Kicker, you ain't got a kicker. I don't trust no snotted nose. I ain't kicked the NFL ass kicker. I want a kicker. I need a kicker. And then you never have too many. You never have too much linebacker depth. You never have too much offensive line depth. But when you talk about pass rush, you're solidified. You talk about defensive tackle, you're solidified. When you talk about cornerbacks and safeties, you're solidified. Maybe running back. I think I could do one more running back. But yo, man, it's your boy Henny the Moore, putting live from the liquor store. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me and showing love. And your boy is out.